A few months ago, I've captured this image of the North American nebula with a deep sky astrophotography setup that costs around 4,000 euros. But is it really necessary to spend 4,000 euros on a deep sky astrophotography setup in order to capture amazing images of the night sky? So the question of this video is, can I do deep sky astrophotography with affordable equipment? And to be short, yes, it's possible. For sure, you can also do deep sky astrophotography with affordable equipment, but for sure there will be a difference. So the more interesting part in this video will be how close I can get to an equipment that costs 4,000 euros with a setup that is affordable, so that costs less than 1,000 euros. So this is the interesting part of this video. In this video, I would like to answer this question by comparing two different astrophotography setups. So I would like to compare a setup that costs 4,000 euros with a setup that costs less than 1,000 euros. So to be more precise, only 900 euros. I know that astrophotography can be a very expensive hobby and that you can spend a lot of money on a deep sky astrophotography setup. But do you really have to spend that much of money on a deep sky astrophotography setup? Join me in this video because we'll find out if it's possible to capture amazing images of the night sky with affordable equipment too. So in this video, I would like to build up an affordable astrophotography setup for under 1,000 euros, and I would like to look how close I can get to the image I've captured a few months ago. Before showing you the affordable setup that I would like to build up in this video, I would like to start by introducing the expensive setup to you. But before introducing the astrophotography setup, I would like to mention that this video is not sponsored and I'm not being paid for it, and all products shown in this video were purchased by myself. But now, let's get started. So the expensive setup consists of the Skywatcher HEQ5 Pro go-to mount. So this is a go-to mount that I've been using over the past few years for astrophotography. So actually, this is the mount I've started with into the hobby of astrophotography. On the top, I've mounted the Oscar SQ-A55 telescope, which is an amazing telescope for astrophotography. So this telescope is even suitable for full-frame cameras. So even when using it in combination with a full-frame camera, you can capture amazing images, and the stars are even sharp in the edges of your image. At the back of this telescope, I've attached the Canon EOS 60A, which is basically the astro-modified version of the Canon EOS 60. So this is a full-frame camera, which is perfect for astrophotography because these full-frame cameras do have less noise compared to other DSLR cameras. And that's definitely a great camera for astrophotography, but unfortunately, most telescopes and lenses are not suitable for full-frame cameras. Therefore, definitely when planning to buy a full-frame camera, you have to buy a telescope or a lens that is actually suitable for these full-frame cameras. For actually controlling the entire deep sky astrophotography setup, I have used the ASI Air Pro, so the CWO ASI Air Pro, which is an astro computer that allows me to control the entire deep sky astrophotography setup. For achieving perfect stars in the end, I am using a guiding system. So in this case, I've attached a 60mm guide scope to this setup, and at the back of this guide scope, I've attached the CWO ASI 120mm mini mono guiding camera. So in total, this setup costs around 4,000 euros, which is definitely not that affordable. So it's definitely quite expensive, and especially when planning to get started into the hobby of astrophotography, it's too expensive to get started with an astrophotography setup that costs around 4,000 euros. So now I would like to introduce the affordable setup to you that I would like to use tonight to capture the North American nebula once again. So the basis of this entire astrophotography setup is for sure a tripod. It's very important to use a very good tripod that has a lot of stability, because otherwise when it's windy your setup will move all the time. So that's very important. On the top, I've mounted the Ioptron Skyguider Pro, which is basically a very portable star tracker that is perfect if you're planning to get started into the hobby of astrophotography. So this star tracker is definitely not as expensive as the Skywatcher HEQ5 Pro go-to mount, which is the mount I've used for the expensive setup. And on the top, I've mounted the Canon EOS 600D, which is a very good camera for deep sky astrophotography. Unfortunately, this camera is not astro-modified, but that's definitely not a problem for tonight. For sure, when using an astro-modified DSLR camera, the image would be better, but in this case I would like to use a very affordable setup, and therefore I would like to use the Canon EOS 600D. This is a great camera for astrophotography because it has less noise compared to other older DSLR cameras, and on the other side, this camera has a flip screen, which is perfect for focusing in deep sky astrophotography. The lens I've attached to this camera is the 75 to 300mm lens, so this is a very affordable lens for astrophotography. So I've used this lens over the last few years for deep sky astrophotography because it is very affordable, but still you can capture amazing images of the night sky. So tonight I would like to use this lens at a focal length of 75mm in order to take advantage of the maximum aperture of this lens, which is f4.0. So I would like to stop down the lens a bit in order to capture better images tonight, but still I would like to capture at f4.5 in order to let in as much light as possible. Furthermore, I've attached a remote shutter release cable to this camera. This one helps me to capture multiple images tonight, because otherwise I have to click on the camera manually, which will cause star trails in the end, because every time I click on this button, the entire setup will move. Therefore, I can select the exposure time, the amount of images I would like to capture, and all of these settings with this remote shutter release cable, and then this camera captures multiple images tonight, and that is definitely very, very good for deep sky astrophotography. So this is the astrophotography setup I would like to use for tonight. So in total, this astrophotography setup costs around 900 euros, which is definitely quite affordable compared to the other setup, which costs around 4,000 euros. So this is actually everything I've planned to mention so far about this setup. So tonight I would like to capture the images of the night sky. So I've tested this setup a few days ago, and it seems like I can use an exposure time of 1 minute, which is the exposure time I would like to use for tonight. So I would like to use an ISO value of around 1600 and an aperture of f4.5 in order to let in as much light as possible. This is everything I've planned to mention so far, so see you later when we capture the images of the night sky with this affordable deep sky astrophotography setup. So now I would like to compare the two images I've captured. So right now you can see the light frames I've captured of the North American Nebula. So first of all, I would like to start with an image that was captured with the cheaper astrophotography setup. So this is a single light frame I've captured, so it has a total exposure time of 1 minute, and I've used an ISO value of 1600. So when zooming in, you can see that the stars unfortunately do not look that good. So you can definitely see that the stars are perfectly round, which is quite good, but you can definitely see these blue halos around these stars, and that is not that good, as you can see. For sure you can remove that, but I wanted to show you that this is a problem when using these lenses wide open. So it's definitely very important to stop down these lenses when planning to use lenses for astrophotography, because it helps you to achieve better images. But the problem when stopping down a lens is that less light reaches your sensor, and collecting a lot of light is very important in astrophotography. Therefore, stopping down a lens is not the best idea, but it helps you to achieve better overall star quality. Furthermore, when looking at the edges, you can see that the stars do not look that good in these regions. So you can see that we do have a lot of chromatic aberration. So these stars are not round, they look a bit like comets. So the star quality in these areas is definitely not that good. So when stopping down these lenses, these stars do look better, but I wanted to use the maximum aperture of this lens in order to let in as much light as possible. So the other telescope, so the ASCAR SQA55 telescope, captures at f4.8, and I've used this lens wide open, so at f4.5, in order to be able to compare both images. So this is the image that was captured with the cheaper setup. So now I would like to go over to the light frame I've captured with the expensive setup. So here we go. So this is the image I've captured with the expensive setup. So this is just a single light frame. So it has a total exposure time of 3 minutes, which is a bit longer compared to the other one. But in the end, I will stack all of these images, and the total exposure time will be the exact same. So when looking at this image, you can clearly see that more details are visible. And that is due to the fact that this camera is astro modified. So therefore, it is easier to capture these H-alpha regions. So furthermore, when looking at these stars, you can see that there are no halos around these stars, so these stars look perfect. And once again, they are perfectly round. And once again, when looking into the edges, you can see that there is no chromatic aberration. So this telescope is even suitable for full-frame cameras, and I've used this telescope in combination with a full-frame camera. And as you can see, the stars do look perfect even in the oldest regions of this image. So you can definitely see that these stars do look much better in this image, but on the other side, you have to keep in mind that this telescope costs more than 1,000 euros, so it's definitely quite expensive. But you can definitely see a difference between a cheap lens and an expensive telescope, so you can definitely see that. So this is the image I've captured with the Canon EOS 6DA. So I've used an ISO value of 1602, so the same ISO value I've used for the Canon EOS 600D. After showing you the single images, I now want to compare the two final images. Over the course of 3 nights, I was able to photograph the North American Nebula using the equipment that costs around 900 euros. After processing and combining all the images, I was able to create this image of the North American Nebula. Unfortunately, you can't see as many details in this picture. This is definitely due to the aspect that this camera is not astro modified, and this image was taken with the equipment that costs around 4,000 euros. So you can clearly see that the image taken with the more expensive equipment shows more details. This is due on the one hand the fact that the camera is astro modified, and on the other hand because I took the picture in a location with less light pollution, and of course also because the higher quality of the equipment. So in order to be able to compare both images, I decided to use a longer exposure time for the image taken with the cheaper equipment. Nevertheless, the exposure time of both images are almost the same. With the cheaper equipment, you can definitely capture more details, but you need a much longer total exposure time. If I had collected more exposure time for the image taken with the cheaper setup, I could have produced a much better image. However, I wanted to keep the exposure time as close as possible to the image I've captured with the expensive setup in order to be able to compare these images. What I want to say is that with the cheaper equipment, I could also have created a better image if I had collected more exposure time. But when you look at the star sharpness, the overall image, and the general quality, it's clear that the image taken with the more expensive setup is definitely better. So to return to the question I asked myself in the beginning of this video, yes, it's possible to create amazing images of the night sky with cheaper equipment, so affordable equipment, but the key is always to achieve the longest possible total exposure time. Nevertheless, you can definitely see a difference when using a more expensive equipment for astrophotography. And with that, I've answered the question of whether you really need an expensive equipment to create amazing images of deep sky objects. If you have any further questions, definitely feel free to ask me down below in the comments and I will definitely answer your questions. And if this video was interesting and helpful to you, I would really appreciate a like and a subscription. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, clear skies, Felix.